if you have one of these, a DJI Mini 3 or Mini 3 Pro or Mini 3 SE or Mini 3S or whatever drones might have come out while I was sleeping, well, you're in luck because DJI have just brought out a new firmware update. And this is firmware version 01.00.0500, rolls off the tongue like silk. Well, this firmware has one particular nice feature, and that's the fact that we get horizontal and vertical speed adjustments back in every mode that we fly in: Cine, normal and sports. And what that means is that basically we get tripod mode back again, which is amazing because that allows us to do nice cinematic slow movements, slow that rate of the drone down and not race around like a lunatic. But it also means that if you do things like vlogging, it allows you to do some new techniques that we were able to do before, but they're just a little bit easier now because we can basically get slow drone movements even at full stick deflections. So I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. To upgrade to this firmware, it's very, very simple. First, you need to make sure that if you have one of these controllers, make sure that's updated to the latest firmware for the controller. Make sure you've got your controller linked to a Wi-Fi hotspot. Once you've done that, just go and search for new updates. And once it's found the update, click update. And within about 15 to 20 minutes, your drone will have its funky new firmware installed and you'll be ready to go. All your previous settings should be carried across, so you shouldn't have to reconfigure anything, things like your height, altitude, height limits and so on. But going back to what this cool new feature allows us to do, well, if you want to do some vlogging, obviously you would have used ActiveTrack before, and ActiveTrack is amazing, but it can be limiting and it does have some restrictions. Well, now that we can basically get a nice, slow, cinematic movement on this drone, even by using full deflection on the sticks, we can start to introduce that and become a little bit more creative beyond ActiveTrack in our vlogging. So say I have a woodland scene like this, and I want to walk around with my camera and introduce my drone footage. Well, let me show you what sort of things you can do. Now, ActiveTrack does work very, very well, but sometimes you just want to keep manual control to give you that little bit more flexibility when you're trying to be creative when you're filming. Because all I'm doing now is giving it full deflection on the sticks and going about my business, going for a walk, not worrying about any trees getting in the way, upsetting my ActiveTrack, and creating some hopefully quite cinematic footage. You don't always want to keep yourself right in the middle of the frame. Sometimes it's more interesting to just walk past it a bit like this. Or you might have some objects in the way of the camera which might obstruct your vision and then obstruct your tracking. Shots like this, for example, where the camera gets frequently obstructed by something like a tree, you're not going to get any issues with the drone suddenly stopping or losing you or changing its path, which makes it a little bit more cinematic and more interesting in that sense. And sometimes you might want to move that drone away. You might want to not worry about low light upsetting your ActiveTrack or sudden jutters and movements. Even a shot like this, full deflection on the sticks and walking through the scene, avoiding dog poo, nice and easy. And that wraps up this video. I hope you found it useful and hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps the channel. Type something down below on what kind of videos you might want to see, what you like, what you don't like. I do read all your comments and I do enjoy reading them. Until next time, remember to stay safe, get creative and happy flying. Bye-bye.